From what I understand, tell more about eBay. Well, I said before already, but I might say again or somewhere different. eBay. eBay is not my name, but it is my software decision. For the front page, for the layout, what it comes, how it is, main page, explanation, click, finance option, anything you see, that's my structure, that's my software decisions. So like on the first page, different things. AOL didn't have it, so in 91 I came to my platforms. That for my e-commerce I had my platforms. So my platforms like eBay and Amazon, what's today, if you look at the front page you don't see anything, but it's like advertising. New things or specials. That's my software decisions structure. That's not belonging to eBay or Amazon. It's my way, not for them, that's for me. They use illegal papers for it. Now, when you, like in case of Amazon, that's my new items. I went to certain top design and you have boxes. Because AOL 91 didn't have anything. So I came to this one, my own way I guess. And then eBay somewhere different. Then you have search window. And then you type. At the same time, you have different things like about us and all that. Now, when you type, suppose Nikon D3 camera, it will give you a list. That's how you see pictures, name, the price. I move the price. They implemented just how I came to. That's my way. Move the price. In the beginning I thought one way, but then I moved the price. And you have different sellers with Nikon cameras, because that is a platform for many users. Like I said, I came to e-commerce where I allow companies like suppose Home Depot, Lowe's, photographic store, anyone to be there. So either I build site for them or they build with some help, and I place on my system, on my computers, that people accessing. That's my exploring. People are accessing my computers. They don't access some other building like before. In case of say like web, they go to other building. I don't need it. I don't need that system. I have my own building. In some sense, it's kind of like Star Network. I connect them, but I'm like a Star Network. I'm not doing like they had before. So for my Star Network, but in my case, I don't have computer. I have many computers, my builder. So I allow them, if they're right, if they're legal. It does not mean anybody can be on my system, but certain criteria, they met certain criteria, so they can be on my system. That's my first way of e-commerce. That's how I look for myself. That's my first way of e-commerce, where I allow individual stores to create, or I help them to create the store, and I place on my computers. So on the top, on browser, when you type burlington.com, no, I didn't have .com. Based on my way, it should be burlington.us or burlington.jp or burlington.india or EIN or whatever. So they split. They still have US and .com. They added .com to mine. I don't use it. But anyway, it's the same my thing. So so either you type in the browser now, or search engine. Then I came to search engine. Google, Bing, nobody's supposed to use it. They use it legally. Just particular search engine. It's a sort of window. It's connected. The browser is connected to my external system, which is like I said, Colorado. If I have additional, then additional. So that was my one way of e-commerce. Now, beside first way of e-commerce where I allow different businesses, I have my own platform. So my own platform, it means I create a platform and I allow them to make store and to post inventory. So for instance, let me see, like suppose like Hobby Lobby, but then there is like a smaller store, not the Hobby Lobby. Maybe they don't have even a huge business, but they can make stuff certain, like in Hawaii they make like jewelry or something, like stand, like those stands, you know. So for them to create site look like their business, it's kind of too much. They don't have that business, but they would like to sell. So in this case I have that second kind, which I allow different sellers, bigger, smaller ones, or even tiny ones, to be there, but within my platform. They could have no store site at all. In fact, so what eBay and Amazon is, they're creating inside, and they might have no site because they don't have a big company. So that particular, like if I say eBay, Amazon, both of them mine, I do have some difference, but it is mine. So at that time I was substantially different to AOL 91. They did not have anything like that, so for me it's okay. I use similar, but it is mine, which is different to AOL. Now, in case of what today is eBay, that was for used items, focused on used items. And what is Amazon is focused on new items. And for new items like Amazon, I had warehouse. For used items, I did not think about that. First I came to used items, what's today eBay. Because substantially different means substantially different, so I did think for some time how it's gonna look like this and this. So I came to the front page, and then how sellers will appear. That's what you see on eBay. And when you click, how it is, information about the item, photos, that's how you see. It's not, they don't have innovative team for this. Innovative team means they had nothing and then they came. They don't have, they implemented mine. They had to be substantially different in order to trade. They should trade their thinking, not mine. That's my thing. They use my thinking illegally. So what you see, they added some things, yeah, but that was for me to add. I told Olga later I will add more. So they took mine and they asked somebody else to add, and they used mine without permissions, without anything. eBay, if you check like trading, they couldn't target trading. It's because it's not their intellectual property. They implemented, look like I allow. I never did allow. That's illegal papers. To me, to allow, they should come to me, not using some stupid papers of X5. But anyway, that was a platform, basically a platform that I came to as my platform. And then I came to idea of stores. People have stores inventory. Now they post inventory. It tells them if they sold or not. Then auction too. I had for what is used items, I had auction. That's what you see. Either auction or price they wanna sell it at. I had both. But for new items, no auction. So for used items also, I had what you see, eBay Auto. It's part of my used things. At that time I thought people can sell used cars. You know what I mean? So, but it should be certain agreement within legal ways. Later I've seen somebody was fooling, trying to buy and stealing money. No, that's not like that. But my new items did not have auto, because I was not focused. When I was thinking about new items, I was not focused on cars. I had specially site design for cars where people can sell cars, similar to what I have for eBay. For used items, I had cars, just the cars I was telling you before. So so that's my platforms. My platform basically, it's a platform allowing different sellers, but I pre-made for them certain space, and after search they will show up. Like for instance, what you see today, like Amazon, you type like Nikon D5 camera, and then it will show you different sellers. But those sellers are on my platform. They might have different names as a user or as a store, right? As a user or store, like suppose one company, second, third company. So it can be like that, huh? And then you click on that name and it will show you the store, the design. See? That's my way of structure. It's not for Bezos to use and Jesse. They had to be substantially different. I was substantially different to AOL91. They had to be substantially different to me. But they use that with some fake papers. They're in illegal use, I'm telling you. For trading, they cannot say it's their thinking because it's my thinking, not your thinking. They were implementing my thinking. So, but no agreement, so illegal use. So anyway, so what they have is a place which is my way. It's not their way, it's my way. It is a place where, like I said, that's my second way of e-commerce, where I have platform for those individual sellers, be it small or big. I actually thought it's helpful for like small businesses, because like you see, for instance, a warehouse. Many times, like today, you might see a warehouse, or even it's called like storage space. Today people can have business without the business. For instance, storage space, extra storage space, public storage, whatever, any storage. So they have certain products. I've seen it actually. Like different boxes, bunch of boxes. They're in storage and bunch of boxes. But they don't have a store. Physical store that they can, like, they make website or site, what they call today. Website. I didn't call website, site. Like Macy's, of course they have a store. You can have a site of Macy's store, but those people don't have. They're like kind of like a small warehouse or storage, and they have different products. Those products either handmade or something else. Some people have handmade stuff, some maybe something else. That's just it's like a, let's say, a farmer's market. On farmer's market they come and sell, but it does not mean they have a store. They just have a place to sell, or like a swap meet. On swap meet they sell, but they don't have a store. So for me, that place be either like eBay or like Amazon. It's kind of like that swap meet, or let's say, you know, farmer's market or anything like that, to sell. If they don't have a store, but if they have a store, it's just additional place to sell. So I'm given opportunity to small users, small stores, to sell actually pretty much nationwide. Realistically, 91, when AOL shut down at 7 o'clock, first of all, they didn't have all that, but the second thing is they would need to shut down e-commerce. But because I came to 24/7 e-commerce, and my ways are different, software decisions are different, now smaller store can sell nationwide or even internationally, and they can do 24/7. So like if here people are sleeping, in Asia or Europe people are awake, but because your system is working 24/7, the transaction can take the place. And I have a platform where they purchase, and when you click an item it gives you the page with the whole description, and in the same place where you have the whole description, you have options to buy either credit card or one payment system. That one, Elon Musk, PayPal, actually it's not his initial thinking. Somebody told him about my one payment system they implemented, but it was not for them to implement, and actually it was not for him to talk. He is actually partially in illegal use. He did not start from scratch, because that system is for my store, like I just told you, and it's for my external system. That payment is not like previously between billions web, 10 billions. It does not go to other billion, because if I have that platform, suppose in Colorado, with like eBay or Amazon, if I have that platform in Colorado, that's where people basically search the product, and when they click on that, like say buy, either using credit card or one payment system, it does not go to any other buildings like God knows where. It's just within. It can be the same building or building right next to you. That's my e-commerce for my platform. You see how it works? So in case of eBay, used items, first I came to used items platform, and then later I came to what is today Amazon, because I thought about, if I give like certain businesses to have their sites, like suppose Home Depot, or Lowe's, or Nordstrom, or any company, if I allow them, what can I do for customers? Because I already allow new items there. So I was more concerned with used items. So I allow, because there are many people and garage sales, and many times people drive around, because I knew in Minnesota people drive around visiting different garage sales. So I thought, well, in this case they don't need to drive around, and plus, if the item is very rare, you need to drive around forever. Even now, when I search for some items, it's like almost unavailable or very little. Certain things you cannot find. Even rubber boots. Just check on rubber boots. They don't have many rubber boots. Or if it will come, only few here and there. So it's not like tons of them. So anyway, so people don't drive around. I've seen some kind of benefit. So my main thing is first without used items. So I came to this eBay today. Plus auto. Auto was mostly like for use, for parts, like to buy parts. Because for me I thought it's very boring. Every time you need to go and buy parts from somewhere. I thought it's pretty good to buy certain parts online on eBay. But it should not be fake part. It should be genuine. Because I mean, should be system people don't fool. So that was for me the main one. And then later I came to what is new items. Why I thought new items? Because new items, from my, like I said, from my original thinking, it could be some new items, but because like Home Depot and everything. But I was not satisfied with that, because there are many items, new ones, like, because I'm a foreigner, kind of foreigner. Right now I'm American. I live more in America than overseas, but still I might deal with some foreign countries. So for me, I've seen a need of certain international items, like for instance, many times the appliances in America is 120, most of them 120 volt, but most appliances overseas are 220. And before thinking about the system, I was in New York. They do have a store, or maybe a couple stores, where you can buy appliances for 220. So basically you can buy a gift and send to your grandma, grandpa, relatives, friends, anything, be it food processor or radio or anything for 220. You can buy any appliances you have. Basically in New York, 1 or 2 stores you can buy 220 if you want to give as a gift. But like normally, like in Minnesota, if you go to any store, they don't sell 220. It's in a huge city of New York, they have only 2 stores, but in Minnesota nothing. So, but I've seen a need for new items. That's my beginning point of what they call Amazon. That's my beginning of point for new items which is hard to find. I was kind of more focused on creating a platform, not for those like Bloomingdale or Macy's that you can find anywhere, but for new items, but like focused on hard to find, like those 220 volt, certain things like that. Because in United States there are certain new items, but they're very rare. You need to drive far away. So that would be another part for my new items. So I started actually that platform, which is like Amazon, based on those new things, but rare, hard to find. That's my beginning point. So like I said, new and rare items. I want to show you one example. Like if you search right now on YouTube for Dutch oven, most of them you will see like Lodge, many other brands, right? Cuisinart, and it will say 5 quarts or 6 quarts, right? That is American basically measurement or British measurement of quarts. But like in Europe, biggest part of Europe and Eastern Europe, the whole actually Europe, the whole Eastern Europe, China, Japan, many countries, they have liters and they have centimeters. So if you measure the product, either meters, centimeters, if you measure liquid, it is liters. So many times they don't even make the same thing. Like here, you have certain things for kitchen, which is not electronics, but certain things, and then it says measurement in liters or milliliters. So suppose you want to make certain thing, juice or anything, and in Europe all containers would be like in liters or milliliters. They're not made in quarters and whatever. But if you have a relative, friends, anyone, you wanna give a gift, you know they don't measure in quarts and they don't have even those kind of tools. Many times you cannot buy quarts or whatever American measurement. So you would probably buy a gift, which is not electronics but certain items, and they give as a gift. Now, like my new items, which is to the Amazon, would be a good place. I could buy that kind of stuff here and give as a gift. So I'll give you one example. I'm in America, right? I just got this one. On YouTube, nobody's talking. On YouTube, most Dutch ovens you see like 3 quart or 4 or 5 quarts, right? 6 quart. Like this one, take a look what I got. I was looking for a long time. This one. Nobody's talking about this brand. Okay? And quality look very good. And why I bought this, because this is Italian, and if you look at like YouTube, they have like, oh, we tested this and that, and most of them never tested this one because it's not really common to see in US. Take a look. Italian cast iron, premium quality. Look. Premium quality. Let me see. You see on the top, Italian flag, premium quality cast iron. Now, if you look at measurement, 5.2 quart. 5.2 quart. Normally, if you go to American store, you don't buy stuff like this, 5.2. It will be 5. They even print on the top. Not print, but some of them like in kind of like made by shape 5 quart, but this is 5.2. This is Italian, and this one you can use on electrical stoves. I don't know if everyone is made for electrical stove, but this one is okay. And you see inside look very nice, very thick, and it says here, well, sometimes they advertise, but sometimes it's true. Inside it says long lasting. That surface is long lasting. Somewhere I've seen it. But anyway, long lasting, because some of them you can see it's not thick. This is more like a French thick one, not really see-through kind of thin. And they say it is long lasting, and it's smooth. This is basically European. If it says 5.2, it is made for actually European market in liters. They ship the same, they don't change anything, and it becomes 5.2. You see what I mean? So for instance, I bought this and I want to give as a gift. I bought here in America. I got a good deal. I actually got from Marshalls. Yesterday I've seen this one and another one the same, Italian, but the flat. But this Italian, but it's made in China. I guess under Italian supervision. It's not really like French. You buy it for $350. It's made in France. This is not made in France. But it looks to me this is made for actually for Europe in liters. And some of it came here 5.2 quarts, but still good. But for instance, I like it. But it's hard to find. I just like Italian things. I just like Italian Dutch oven. So my store would be like Amazon. It's a right place. Because it's not really used item, it's a new. I separate it like, that's my place for new. Now, later I added actually some new stuff can be sold on used, because I thought, for instance, people buy sneakers or shoes or anything, and it's new and they don't wear, and they change their mind or last receipt after 30 days or whatever, or some kind of, like you see today, no box or open box or whatever. So it's new. So later I added actually some new things to my used items, which is like eBay. That's what you see, eBay. Some of it new you see, not like most of it used. But later my ex-wife was talking about my new item store, which is Amazon today. Something we had to talk about used items. I could not really add anything really used. I said maybe, but since I have already a place for use, why do I need to add used to my new items like Amazon? So I was not really open to add used items to like, but what's the Amazon, that's my new items platform. So I kind of kept like, I just want to use, I want to keep with it. But then another side, it's new, but like last receipt and all that, or maybe change mind, or it's new, I did not use, maybe in that case. So like you see today, Amazon, they don't go really into big sales of used items. It's mostly new. That's what I had. The front page kind of similar, but for my new items, which is Amazon, the front page is like it's focused on new deals, new items. For eBay, used items. It's mostly on new items focused. My design changed a little bit. I came to certain things. So if you compare Amazon and eBay, they're a little bit different. But in reality, like that was for me, I'm a one guy, but some people today can say they don't have substantial difference how they look. They should not be approved. Maybe it shouldn't. They should not be approved. Both of them should not be approved because it's my way. It's not AOL 91 way. It's my way I came to. Before they go to trading, they had to contact me. They cannot trade my software decisions and intellectual property. They used illegal papers of my ex-wife. Look like I allow whatever. She wrote all kind of stuff. It's not my papers. For all the papers, eBay or Amazon had to go to me. Even today, I don't allow. I never did allow, I don't allow. They have some kind of stupid ideas in the head. Look like somebody allowed. Did you talk to that person, yes or no? No. Did you talk to attorney, yes or no? No. Who you talk to? Some people. Basically politicians that got from my ex-wife. Basically ex-wife, politicians, ex-wife, politicians, ex-wife, politicians, ex-wife, politicians. Legally, talent should be, not ex-wife and politician, talent. So basically that paperwork is not for trading. I'm telling you, Amazon and eBay paperwork is not for trading. You cannot trade. Legally, talent or attorney, or talent and attorney, not ex-wife and her people. Repeating and by some tricks and tweaks, they get copyright or approved. How did you get approved? I did not even talk to you. She said. Just because she said you cannot use an offer on Wall Street. It's not your intellectual property. It should be your thinking to trade. It should be your product to trade. That's how you trade. It should be your product, mental product. Should be your thinking to trade that. If it's not yours, then you find talent, attorney, make legal. But you have nothing. You have legal papers with fraud. I'm sure she wrote wife again, this and that. She want money for that. She's retarded. She's playing with big fire because it's all money, investment and all that. Attorneys everywhere, finance, banking, and she's trying to fool here and there. She's looking at prison, I'm telling you. And all those papers they cannot use, be it eBay or be it Amazon, because you have to be substantially different. And if you found something, you need to find a talent because you want to trade. But they don't. So I'm telling you. If you want, you can vote. Believe me, I'm serious. If you really want, you can vote today. Amazon and eBay copyrights. You can vote. Because the condition of copyright, you need to be a talent or thinker. But that thinking they got from my ex-wife. It's not your eBay's thinking. That certain part, it's not you. You're adding extra, you're playing, implementing, but it's not you that made the thing you can play with. You have to be substantially different. Now, where do you place that? eBay or Amazon? Where do you place? On external system. You don't place on 10 buildings belonging to the web. You are placing on those like Google or Yahoo. Right. That's what I'm talking about. That's my external system, and that's my platform, which is beside those like individual stores like Nordstrom, Bloomingdale, Home Depot, whatever. I have my platform, which is allowing many sellers to be there at the same time many buyers, and the buyers can submit and get many sellers for the same item. That's for me to use. It's not for anyone to go and use. So far, if they use like that, it's gray or black market, illegal use. That's not for, definitely, it's not eBay and Amazon today, I can tell you, it's not for pension funds, it's not for corporate investment, big money, because it's illegal use and use fraud and forgery. And they don't have authority or nothing. And it's not his thinking to trade. It's not Bezos and Jason thinking to trade. Because that would be legal copying in use. If you do the same. You need to have your thinking. It should be your product to trade. If it's not yours, you need to find a talent and authority. If you're not sure, go to D-School. How did you come to this? You didn't. They told you. It means not yours. Then go and fight it. I'm telling you, Amazon, eBay took market by illegal means. They're getting money and it took the market by illegal means. It's not their stuff. If you want to disqualify, you can. You can ban eBay and Amazon from every country because they're in illegal use. It does not matter you added something. It's just not yours to add. You know what I mean? It's like I go right now to suppose IBM, and I steal everything, and I add, and I want to sell to everybody. It does not matter that I add some, but because it's not mine, I need to pay for it. And all those eBay, Amazon, their brain don't understand. They're listening to some kind of crooked politicians. I'm sure they're listening Olga's people. But they're not telling, and she's not telling. Then you need to find a talent. Bezos finished school like Princeton University. I don't think you're thinking right. I don't think you are thinking way off, normal. If it's not your, then it's not your. You see, he went to Princeton while I took some classes, Columbia, and I was in New York. I know you cannot trade not your thinking. He's trying to train my thinking, but he added something. But where's my part? You cannot copyright it. How did you copyright? Somebody is allowed. Who is allowed? Did you talk to him? Yes or no? No. So the lady made up, and you go with lady. So it's like, I'm telling you, it's like the what they call it? It's like a house. The guy is the owner of the house, but she wants money, and she's making stupid papers. You need to go with your papers, not with the house owner, right? That's how eBay and Amazon is doing. They are going with her and stupid papers, not with the house owner. She did not come to those solutions and platforms and international network system. She's only repeating. If you repeat, you are not the talent. Talent means thinker. For copyrights, it should be thinker. For Wall Street trading, it should be a thinker. Not the repeating guy. Otherwise, it would be gray market. You cannot trade gray or black market. It should be removed from trading. So I don't know what you have in the head. I really don't like all these stupid American approvals. So some Europeans believe many Americans should be arrested. That's correct. Many Americans should be arrested. It's not their stuff and they're offering. And they don't show any legal proofs of acquiring by legal ways. It's true. They cannot show anything legal, how they are approved and how they acquired. Because their approvals, it's not mine. It's not my talk. Their approvals of my ex-wife talk. She's not a talent. There should not be. She is not supposed to talk. They should not approve her. She is not acting on my behalf. She was not acting on my behalf. If there are papers like that, that's fraud and forgery. I was divorced and she decided to make money and play his wife and kind of acting on my behalf. No, that's fraud. And honestly, I did not see that ex-wife can act on behalf. I've seen lawyer can act on behalf. not ex-wife, because I think legally you need to have some legal job to act on behalf, otherwise it's not considered as good. Like maybe not even every lawyer. So like if lawyer is acting on my behalf and I have relationship with that lawyer is one thing, but if ex-wife claiming as wife acting on my behalf and I have no agreement, nothing, that's fraud. That's illegal. Even if she would be wife, I don't think she can act on my behalf. I don't think so. I think for small things, maybe. Not for big markets. There is no way for big markets. For international use, even wife can act on his behalf. I just don't believe in it. I think there is a certain limit. Now, even if she acts on his behalf, attorneys and judges had to verify if it's true or not. And they didn't verify. Then that's corruption. They pushed under the table papers. That's corruption. It had to be verified. If it was not verified and pushed under the table, that's corruption. So the way they went through is using corruption. I can tell you not only that, the way they started their corporations, it was a way of corruption. Because if it's not your thinking, then you need to have that person or attorney. They did not have attorney. They had politicians and Olga's fraudulent papers look like she's wife, but she is not. In any case, they are not attorney and they started business. But at some point, judges would need attorney, but they don't have. They probably pushed under the table, and that's corruption. That's how you started. I just see it. I just see it. There is no way. If international court is only dealing with attorneys, and how did you attain international presence? That's not your Bezos international network. It's not your Greenpage international network. It's not your international search engine, not .org, nothing. Not your e-commerce. How did you get it on international level? They are not attorneys. So they pushed the papers under the table. That's corruption. So what? You give me your attorney right now from eBay or Amazon. So are you trying to say eBay and Amazon started from scratch, from completely zero? If you say yes, that's fraud. That would be fraud. Then you should expect fraud charges. You're trying to defraud. Because no Bezos, no Jason started from scratch. Because to start from scratch, it should be first, I can tell, international system allowing all those people from different regions to place. So first I came to that international network and search engine, an external system, and then when I have that, I can add different software like eBay or Amazon. Otherwise it would not make any sense even to start thinking about it. Where would you put all this? You need some network for people to reach and search. See, logically they could not even come to this. If Brin and Page would play, they came to this. That would be fraud. Two programmers came to this. To what? To international network configuration. To your e-commerce, which is eBay or Amazon. You came to that. But the same people are repeating. It means you came from the same guy, but you are not the same. Bezos and Brin Page are not the same. See, but the same group is talking. Maybe it came from one guy, huh? Not from you. Allowing. How they allowing? Basically, I'm telling you, that's corruption, and that's typical either Russian or Eastern German brain. That's those Soviet or communist country brain, like you see Russia. Even if they talk Russian, what they call oligarchs. I don't even know what they mean by that. But anyway, I know. First of all the Soviet socialists or whatever communists, they did not have trading rules. They are not really for trading. Their system, political system, is not made for trading. Well, I don't know, honestly. The last time I've been there was like 35 years ago. So 91, 2001 is 10 years. And then 10 years plus 22, about 33 years, I guess. So 33 years, I don't know what's 33 years. But anyway, they did not have trading rules. So what appeared to me, they had that, how to say, kind of like appreciation of some kind of leader that comes to very close to the point. He's almost like a dictator. Everybody needs to listen to him. He's like a big shot that has ultimate power and basically can override everybody. Like here you see like Congress and all that. Many times they don't have that Congress where Congress can disapprove president. For some reason in those regions, Congress would be always like some kind of worker listening new president. Like president that has like almost unlimited power, almost like a dictator. Everybody should do what he's saying. So what appears to me, those oligarchs or something, it's like a group that had to listen, and if they don't listen, they will have problem. And they did not have trading rules. They have little knowledge about trading rules and about intellectual property and anything like that. All they have basically is like somebody need to listen to him and he will decide. It does not matter legal or illegal, because he has a position, he can override anything. But in the West, it's not like that. In the West, the system is made like most banks, they are not central banks. Like overseas, where that particular president, they don't have private banks at all. I don't know, maybe now, but in general, all banks were belonging to the government. So it is all like one guy can tell certain things and everybody listen to him and he's overriding everything. They can take anything they want, they can use in any way they want. That's how it looks to me those German communists are doing. He thinks he can override anything. He can use legally. I need to make legal papers, not them. They don't care, they make for me. Why do you make for me? It does not matter she's wife or ex-wife, more correct, ex-wife. She is not supposed to make any papers for me, even being as wife. But even more, ex-wife making papers for me. But over there, they know it's kind of fishy, but they go with it and they think they can override or they have power. Because I see she's not really wanna listen any attorney. Her brain, Olga's brain, is politician can override anything, anyone. So she does not really care about attorneys or lawyers because her brain is like Eastern European old style where those big leaders, they override any court, any legal institution and become legal where it is illegal. And there is no Congress who can approve or disapprove. So basically, they can make anything illegal as legal as long as he's greedy and want money to pull out of it. He will do it because they have that unlimited power, which is like kind of like almost like dictatorship. And it's true. Their power is very close to dictatorship. The whole structure and system is like dictatorship. So like on the West, many banks are private. It means it's not belonging to the government. The money don't belong to the government. It belongs to a bunch of corporations or investors or whatever. So they have that money power which the politician cannot really assume that's his or her. You see? But when it comes to Europe, their brain always, they think all money belongs to kind of them, under their control, because it is a government or state. It's not private banking, it's not private banks. It's like suppose in America government open bank and everybody is putting banks there, money there. So it would be like a government or state bank. But now in America many banks are not like that. In America opposite. Government, like I've seen like Washington DC had problem and Chase Bank helped the government. Chase, which is from New York, they can help the government. So it's not government's money, it's Chase money. Where Chase is getting money from different businesses. Chase Bank is like a bunch of companies basically saving money with Chase. Well, sometimes Chase can invest, getting money from loans, certain interest rate and all that. But it does not belong to government. So in America, the weight is going to some other side. And like, for instance, eBay or Amazon, if they are playing with my intellectual property, they would need to lie to every investor if they started from scratch. Because they didn't. And Bryn Page did not start from scratch too. And they had political party, and they had my ex-wife repeating, they were implementing, but that's illegal. Now, but their brain, because they're politicians from the Eastern Germany, I guess, or Russia, or I don't know from where they can override, they can do. But in America, because banks and finance have power, they don't need fraud because it is risk. For them, risk to invest into this bogus stuff. And if they see somebody is fooling, they can go after those people because you're trying to fool finance. And there is no government can do anything because it's not government's banks. You cannot tweak here. Many times you cannot tweak and play the game. That game is only for the Eastern Europe and Russia, where some big new leader, which is almost like dictator, can call to bank and they make it smooth. here it's not gonna work because this bank does not belong to the government. They don't care about your smooth kind of stuff. Basically, you want to make money by stealing something, by illegal use, because you like to make decisions. Huh? What do you tell to all the people around? You don't care. Well, that's what it is. But in the West, it does not work like this. In the West, when it comes to money, government doesn't have really access to private money. But Russia, to me, Russia, Eastern Europe, they cannot understand many things because America never had communism, socialism, and all that. America is like England, France, Spain, Switzerland. Those Western Europeans, they never accepted those Eastern European Germans. They never go with them. They never went with them. So what those Eastern European Germans are trying to accomplish, they probably didn't know about many things, but still they're trying to tell to Jew or a lot of them Jewish or some other ones, but it's illegal use. But they don't understand because they're from other world. They don't have even trading rules, or if they have very little. I'm telling you, Eastern Europe, when it comes to intellectual property and trading, they have little rules, little something. They should be really, really creative and advanced in order to have good intellectual property base and trading, like Japanese. They're very good for many creative things, so they have pretty good base because of the creativity. But many times Eastern Europe or Russia or those places, they're not even trying to be the same. I'm not talking about they're trying to be better. For instance, like Ukraine. Oh, I see German car. I want to make better and try to achieve it. Mercedes is a piece of shit. BMW is a piece of shit. Audi, just take your shit. Get the hell out of me. I want to make better. Supreme. They don't have they don't have that mentality. They don't have that spark and start. They don't have that starting point to make better. In most cases, they don't. Because they don't have that starting point and spark, they don't go into intellectual property there because they're not even trying to achieve much. They're not even trying to match. They look at German cars as some kind of God's cars. They're not God's cars. They are not. I was working at dealerships. They are not. In most cases, German cars are, after 5 years, expect problems. I'm serious. After 5 years. That's why they depreciate much, because after 5 years, people want to trade in. Many people don't even buy German cars. They lease them because they don't want problems. Yeah, they look good, this, but they don't last a long time. They lease them for 4 years and that's it. So, but anyway, like Japanese, they're trying to be the best. Better than any other one in Asia. Japanese like to be better than Taiwanese, better than Chinese, better than anyone. They want to make the best product in the world. They even want to make better than European. So they have that spark. But now, because in order to make certain product, you need to take time thinking, a lot of thinking, analysis, how to improve. You need to spend a lot of time. Then it's intellectual property, and then you want to protect it, otherwise somebody gonna steal it. So they're trying to protect, and they trade based on certain intellectual property. But because Eastern Europe, Russia, they don't have that spark to make better. So they don't have many stocks or something that has that intellectual property kind of issues, because they don't really offer anything. And many times they think just because somebody else is doing, they can do the same. I'm serious. They don't even have idea to make better style, work better, and to be substantially different. Because in Europe, it's cool to be substantially different. That's my trend. That's my design. Otherwise, everybody saying, you stole from him, you copy him, you stole from him. That's in Europe, they say like that. But in Eastern Europe, they don't really blame you for this. So when it comes to intellectual property, they just copy it. For them, it's okay to copy use. I'm serious. The only one thing stopping is somebody start to complain. Otherwise, well, you do why I cannot do. Because you trade. When you trade, it should be your. You need to tag for your. But you copy him, it's not your. It's your copy. It's like restaurant. Right now, Russia has or Asia, Asian Russia, or Eastern Europe. They have new kind of trend, restaurant. They open restaurants. But if you look at restaurants, many times they have French education, French chefs. And if you look further, they are trying to be different from each other. I think the main reason why they are trying to make different, because it is a French school. If it would not be French school, they would all be like copycats. Because in France, they would tell you how to cook, but if you want to open your restaurant, it should be different. You should not be a copycat of other restaurants. You apply your cooking techniques and knowledge and come to your product, and then you can have restaurant. That's how it is in France and Europe. You cannot open restaurant doing the same. It should be your menu, your dishes, in order to be approved. So it's the same as intellectual property, basically. It should be your stuff in order to trade. That's how normally done. But in Eastern Europe and all those Soviet, post-communist countries, they don't have that. They don't have that education to open restaurant to be different, because in most cases people did not open any restaurants. It was under those government supervision. Government opened some kind of eating places. That's how it was. See what I mean? They become socialistic to that end, where completely everything is under the government. And the government, they just make the same. They make like, they produce military equipment the same, they produce kitchen the same, and the food is the same, and the buildings are the same. That's how they had for some time. So anyway, if those people are trying to manage intellectual property, they will be off all the time, because that's not their world, it's not how it's done, and for them it's completely new world. They might look at that as what in America they say, looking as a deer at the headlights. So they would look, in reality, I assume, all those repeating people, if they're from socialist or communist countries, because I see Olga talk to them, they are looking at trading laws and this and that as a deer at the headlights. They want to make money, but they don't know rules or laws, nothing. Submitting all kind of idiotism. That's all I can say. I don't want to record forever. But anyway, you got some idea. So eBay, to me, what is eBay more? Well, I did say basically first is like first page, then you have one after one for the product. You click on it, all information, and then pictures, and then you have a place to buy. If you want to log into your account, you log in. You have your messages, you have inventory, or like that watch. I have that too. You add to watch list. You watch. So all that came from me. It's not from eBay. They had no creative team. And the same with Amazon. The same with Google. So they were using my structure in software decisions. Because if you look at AOL 91, they had nothing like that, not even close. That's all I can say. Have a nice day. Bye.